Good afternoon, everyone. Ken Angst, Hope Zimby, the Angst Real Estate Team. Hey, we're here today with one of our preferred mortgage specialists, Kathy McAlpine with Mason-McDuffie Mortgage. How you doing, Kathy?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Ken. Thanks for having me.
And we're doing a Zoom meeting because I've gotten a lot of comments on my last few videos about social distancing, and I just want everyone to know that keep in mind that a lot of those videos were shot in February or late January. So what I did was I did a lot of interviews in February and January, and I'm kind of releasing them as we go. So we are following guidelines for COVID. And today, Kathy's kind of generously accepted our invitation to kind of talk about what's going on in the mortgage world. So Kathy, there's a huge misconception out there I see when I log into Facebook or I have clients call. Of course, they're not my clients. They're all pretty educated about what's going on. But 0% mortgages. Can you kind of tell us why this is a misconception and what's kind of going on in the mortgage world that you see?
Yeah, so there aren't any mortgage rates, unfortunately, that are 0%. If that were the case, then nobody would be in business because you got to make money to be able to do a loan.
Right. So if there are, Kathy, I would like to know about it. I would like $1 billion at 0%.
Yeah, you'll be the first I call, Ken. So mortgage rates actually are tied to different types of investments, and they're a longer term investment. So you're not going to see the same kind of rates as even a prime rate and a federal funds rate. And federal funds rate is what they're hearing out in the market that's actually been dropped. So it's really important to check in with lenders and especially mortgage lenders when you're looking at refinancing or even buying, to check into what the rate is, because they are extremely different amongst all the lenders and buyers as well, because it's individual to your circumstances.
Right. It's based on your credit score, what your debt to income is, correct? I mean, all those things kind of influence.
Correct, yeah.
Now, if someone out there is a great candidate, they have an 800 credit score, let's say, I'm not going to pin you down on exactly a number. Approximately what kind of mortgage, 30-year mortgage rate are we looking at? If they do like,
they'll be in the mid to low threes. Just depends on the use of the funds. You know, if they've got great credit, but if they're also maxing out their loan to value, then they're going to see a little bit higher rate than those that have the perfect sweet spot of credit score, purpose, and loan to value.
Okay. So there's a whole bunch of things that go into each individual person when they're trying to figure out what their mortgage rate is. So historically still low, based on historical.
Extremely low.
My dad, when he got a mortgage in 1981, when I was 4 years old, it was like 19%. So with that perspective, I think we're still really good time to buy. Now we're trying to flip the script and kind of educate our clients, and we want people to kind of get some energy back and get a game plan. So we're not sitting around on our hands for 3 to 6 months. What can you do if you're a buyer? I mean, what are the steps that you're kind of telling your clients and our clients? She's actually helps a lot of our clients to do to get ready if they want to buy a house and see what happens in 3 to 6 months.
Well, I really recommend that people talk to their loan officer as soon as possible, because you don't know what's on your credit report. A mortgage credit report is going to be much more in-depth than what you see on your consumer reports with your credit cards and even Credit Karma. I'm seeing the commercials again now that I'm off and on watching the news about experience, fix your credit score all on your own, and you cannot use those for mortgages. So I think it's really important that if anybody's considering doing anything, that they contact their lender ahead of time to make sure it's something that can be utilized in a purchase transaction. So checking credit is really key. Checking credit, verifying, what your income situation is, because the income that you earn isn't necessarily the same as the income that we can use to qualify you.
Good point. Now, so I have Credit Karma. You're not recommending Credit Karma. Is that like a good check to kind of make sure you're in the ballpark, but ultimately you need to pull your credit, correct?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's just going to give you an indication of if there's something major wrong. It'll give you an indication if it's improving, but the score itself is not going to be the same score as what we pull.
Okay. So mortgage lenders use a different score.
It's a different algorithm. Yeah.
Good to know. So get in to see your mortgage professional like Kathy. She has great rates and great fees. So that's why she's one of our preferred lenders. So get that kind of figured out and clean up your credit for our buyers. So if they're thinking about it, and then kind of talk to your realtor about maybe kind of just starting to get a feel of what is going on in the market. That's what we kind of recommend. Now, so kind of want to flip into if you're refinancing. So there's a lot of people out there that are hurting for money just because of loss of job or want to reduce their bills. We kind of talked about have projects around the house. What are you looking for on a refinance? Are you guys doing a lot of those, or what kind of advice can you give our clients for those?
Yeah, so again, just you need to get in and find out what your individual situation is, but we're doing refinances for all sorts of different purposes, you know, home improvement, landscaping, shortening the term, planning for retirement, and you know, a lot of people have mortgage insurance, and even though we're experiencing issues with COVID-19, we're not really seeing the values taking a dive in property values. So,
Okay.
you know, if they're able to remove their mortgage insurance, that could reduce their monthly payment. So there's lots of different reasons to refinance, and ultimately it has to do with what the borrower's goal is in the long term. They're going to keep the house, not keep the house. So I analyze all of that to determine if it makes any sense.
Yeah, that's why we use Kathy, because when you first sit it down with her, I mean, you're going to be amazed with her knowledge, because she doesn't just slap you a rate down, and she asks very precise questions to help you out to make sure to get the best kind of scenario for yourself, for whatever scenario you're in. So that's why we use her. But just keep in mind that first meeting, you know, sometimes I advise my clients, and I actually sit in the meetings, is pretty in depth. She's not one that is gonna just kind of slap something in for you, but she's taking your best interest in. Now, the one thing that we see a lot that I would like to emphasize is people who have either private mortgage or is it mortgage insurance now? The term is, what term we're using these days?
We use it interchangeably.
Okay, so if you bought an FHA 4 to 5, 7 years ago, yeah, you have to refinance it. So that's one of the people who benefit the most, because you have $200 to $300 a month that you can shave off right there, correct?
Well, yes and no, because if their interest rate's so low that we can't touch that rate, we did have some really low rates. And I have a lot of people that had FHA loans at that time. It may not make sense for them.
Okay.
So you just really have to look at every situation individually.
Great. And that's one of the things she looks out for you. She's not going to recommend a product, and I won't either, that doesn't make sense financially for our clients. So, hey, Kathy, thanks for making time today. I appreciate it. Hopefully in the next month or so, we can actually do a live and shake hands and, you know, get away from being over the internet. And
yeah, that would be great.
We'll put Kathy's information on the video, and if you want to give her a call, feel free, and we'll go from there. Hey, Kathy, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Ken. You too. Bye-bye.